Hello everyone. If you are listening to this for the first time or watching this video for the first time, welcome to you. Basically, what I do is I share business studies or the chapters in business studies in very short and simpler to understand presentations, hopefully. Um, and this has been so far my fourth video. And today we will be talking about how businesses create value. To understand added value, let's look at these two pictures. First, a picture of raw materials to make a house, and the second picture is a completed house. So I think you would tell me, well, the difference is pretty obvious. One is raw materials and the other one is a completed house. But what I'm trying to point out is, by itself, the raw materials has no value. Well, you still need money to purchase it to a certain extent. Well, so it means that there is some value. But if you own a construction company that develops properties, you will not be able to sell raw materials to your final consumers or people who want to buy a house. They will want to see a final completed house. Therefore, in the transformation of raw materials to a completed house, value has been added to the raw materials. At the same time, when there is value, you as the owner of a construction company, or basically of all the houses that you have constructed, you would be able to price it better because there is value added into the house. So you can probably sell the house for 50,000, 100,000 ringgit as compared to the raw materials that would maybe cost you a fraction of the price. So let's look at what added value really means then. It is the difference or the difference of the price of the house that you're going to sell versus the price of the raw materials that is used to make. Okay, so now let's just test ourselves with a very common question being asked in exams on added value. And the question is added value the same as profit? Now, before we say yes or no, let us break the question apart into a few areas so that you answer all angles of the question. The first part of the question talks about added value being same as profit. So you would want to know, what is profit? While you understand what added value means, you also need to know what profit means. And profit is defined as revenue, or basically the sales that you make, and versus the overall business cost, and not just the cost of raw materials. So now it will ring a bell a little bit, where added value is not just it does not cover the overall business cost, but added value talks about the cost of raw materials versus the selling price of a particular product, while profit talks about the complete sale of the product, right? Removing the overall business cost and not just the cost of raw materials. So you'll be wondering, what other costs are there in a business besides raw materials? Well, if you're a construction company, you have to pay people who are working at your construction site to make the house, and you pay them wages or you pay them salary. That is a business cost. While that happens in the construction site, what about things that does not happen in the construction site, like when the house is ready and you actually need to sell the house? You'll need to pay salespeople money as well for them to promote your houses and to gain clients or gain customers, right? Maintenance of the overall business cost, licenses, tractors and things like that, the overall cost of a business. So profit is only gained once you have taken away every single cost of the business, and that little that's left with is profit. Now, I think you already know what added value means, and here is the definition again: the price of the house or the price of a product, the difference between the price of the product against the price of the raw materials that is used to make that particular product. So let's really answer the question now: do they mean the same? Added value and profit, Do they mean the same? I think you would see now that the answer is no, they do not mean the same. So when it comes to your exam questions though, you will need to put in the proper sentence or maybe a short paragraph. Is added value the same as profit? Your answer will be yes or no, and why. It is very, very important. So since you know that the answer is not yes but no, do not forget to elaborate why it's not the same. So now let's try another question. The question is, why is it important for a business to add or create value to its products or services? Note that the word a business is highlighted in yellow, and that is done for a reason. In your answers, try to provide an example of a business to explain your answer better. Similar to how I did with a construction company, building houses, right? You may do the same thing in your answer so that you give an application, or you help the examiner understand what you really mean. Of course, they already do, but imagine if that person has no idea of what you're saying. Give an example would help. Now, to answer this question as well, a recap of what is added value is important. You need to understand what added value means before you can tell whether or not it has any benefit to the business that you're trying to promote. What are the benefits to added value? Here are some suggestions for you. At the same time, you may read a couple more of examples in your textbook that would be really helpful in your answers as well. Some of the benefits are setting higher prices, or setting higher selling prices specifically. When you add value, you can tell people basically how expensive it looks, and that's the reason why you are charging higher prices. It's because of the time and effort you put into creating something. And most importantly, people see that it is worth the price. Besides that, it's also about branding and publicity. When your item looks good, and especially in terms of functionality and use, people would want to know about your product, right? It will be easier for you to brand your product or to market your product. It also helps definitely with a higher sales potential, meaning people want to buy your product more when they see a product that has so much value to it, not just in terms of the function, but in terms of the look and feel, in terms of how the product has such an effect on them. So there are many ways to add value into a product. We are almost at the end of our slides, and this is the last slide on the last question that I think you should try on your own. The question is, how does a grocery shop owner add value to his or her business? You may attempt this question on your own, and feel free to watch this video again for better understanding, as well as looking at your own notes from class to help you with attempting this question. We have come to the end of our class for today. If you have anything you would like to read on, if you prefer reading blogs and things like that, you may go to my website as shown on the screen. And till the next class, have a nice day.